Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to today's show. Yes, I have a tie on, got a vest, because today I'm not fooling around. I'm coming to you direct, and I'm going to talk to you about some business, especially if you have a business and you're just having an extreme hard time. You're like tapping into your savings. I mean, you're going all out. And trust me, I know plenty of people that have been independent entrepreneurs their entire lives. And all of a sudden, they're forced in a situation to where the only person or people they can depend on is either themselves, or their family. All right. So I actually took some notes down specifically on what I wanted to talk to you about. But let me just give you some context on today's show. First and foremost, today's show is what businesses should do right now to prepare, and what they should buy for doing future business, especially if you're literally suffering right now, because you may have heard the United States government with stimulus package, the money has run out. Don't take my word, Google it. All right. Look on CNN, look on Fox, look on, if you're left or right, no matter what you are, take a look what your political leanings might be. Definitely take a look and see that what I'm saying to you is 100% accurate. The money has literally run out. Now, prior to that, the $350 that was earmarked for small businesses, you literally could borrow 2.5 times, your payroll, and you could take up to a year to actually pay the money back. All right. Today, I plan on putting the nail in the coffin for all those people out there who are basically coming at business owners that are desperate, asking them or saying to them, hey, we can help you, 10x. I can't believe that bullshit is still around. Your returns, we can help you. If you put $10,000 in advertising, I guarantee you that we will actually help your business grow and start getting business right now, even in the midst of what is happening environmentally. That's bullshit. In fact, so many businesses right now, big business, Fortune 500s, Fortune 100s, and even the top echelon businesses are not marketing as much as they would if there were more customers mobile. Okay, so advertising is about two things. Advertising is about accessibility, and it's about mobility. I'm going to say it to you again. All right. Advertising is about accessibility and mobility. As a 25-year veteran in the game of marketing and advertising, and I'm not saying this to impress you, but just to impress upon you, I know what the hell I'm talking about. So listen to this. Accessibility and mobility, right? Accessibility, giving the consumer, the end user of whatever your product or service is, exactly what they want, right? And giving it to them in a way that provides them control. In other words, they control the experience when they purchase your product or service. They control when you drop a product or service off to them. They control how they interact with you, whether they buy it online, whether they walk in your store. And speaking of walking in the store, it's all about mobility, right? The upwardly mobile millennial that's completely out there, traveling and, living in the big cities, they depend on services, right? That they can engage, they depend on services they can actually engage with on their own terms, because they're so mobile. They're all over the place. They're transient, okay? So it's about accessibility and it's about mobility, right? And first and foremost, I want to thank all the people that are chiming in today. Let me give you a little applause. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we have added sound effects. That's right. Told you, we're always constantly improving. We're added sound effects. And I'm going to give myself this just for kicking off today's show. Thank you very much, because today I am going to help you. If you are a small business struggling and you're just like tapping out your damn savings, I'm going to tell you on what you need to focus on going forward and not listening to all the hoopla that you might see across the web. Like the one that I really like, and I bet you know exactly who I'm talking about, is this marketing firm or marketing agency appealing to, what if you had to start all over? What would you do? How would you do it? Right? We can help with that. Buy my course. Bullshit. All right? What you need to be doing is holding on to your money. I'm not saying not to market, not to advertise, but I'm just saying there's a right and wrong way to do it. And today I want to talk to you about preparedness or business continuity going forward. All right. So now, backdrop and context to this. You know as well as I do that there are so many different businesses right now that are completely, and remember we talked about mobility, right? They're completely mobile when it comes to doing business right now. There's so much video conferencing. Fortune 500 companies are communicating and holding major stockholders meetings in a way that they never thought that they would, through phone conferencing, which they already did. But what about video conferencing, right? How major corporations are meeting online via video, right? But you might say to yourself, wow, I can't do it like that, because they have the budgets to operate in a way that myself as a small business owner, I do not. And that's not true, because remember, I've always said technology is democratized, but strategy is not. I'm going to say it again for you. Technology is democratized, but strategy is not. So what does that mean in simple terms? That means because of technology, we all have access to it. It's just a matter of how you use it. And today, I'm going to share with you some technologies that I think that you should definitely buy, or at least put your money in to actually cut costs in the future as you come out of this environmental situation. Now, again, I said context. In 2008, when so many companies basically went belly up and depended on the government for bailouts, companies had to redesign the way that they did business. Now, there was already a progression toward more online, right? And the companies like Amazon and other companies, they moved toward the forefront of this, and that's why they're so powerful today. But that progression that we projected that was going to happen, more businesses going online and selling their products and services online, that has really skyrocketed because of the situation that we're in right now. So, I mean, I don't have to say to you, there's so many companies and businesses out there that you know their whole thing is online, right? In fact, those companies that primarily do business online or leverage technology are the most successful companies. Think about this. The oil industry is not really doing that well right now. Really, it's not. When you can buy WTI, I mean, you can buy crude oil, you can buy stocks for like $21 or 20 something bucks a share, right? You wouldn't have even thought about that. And I'm in Texas, which we're an oil town, okay? We are oil state, and I'm in Houston, we're an oil city, right? But you wouldn't have even thought of that some time ago. But think about all the technology companies, the companies that say, hey, let's leverage other people's resources, such as Uber, leveraging the resource of a driver, their car, their insurance, etc., and that's put technology to it. Amazon, taking advantage of people being, when I say taking advantage, I don't mean they're taking advantage, but I mean that's their value proposition, delivering products and services via convenience just by a simple click of a button, and it comes to you, taking advantage of supply chains and how all that stuff works. Okay, so let's just get into it. All right, if you own a business, right, and you're having a hard time right now, these are some of the things that you need to think about investing in going forward. There are so many businesses. First and foremost, it is freaking believable that do not have a website. Can you imagine that? What, businesses that don't have a website? Case in point, there's a very small, there's a very small chemical supply company here in Houston, Texas. And I'm not going to say the name, but I've actually tried to reach out to them several times about, developing a website with a payment gateway, taking all their products and putting their products online. This is when we were actually doing that. Right now, we do digital asset management. We do course development. We can take anything that you're doing right now, your private school. We can take all of that stuff and put it in LMS, which is a learning management system. But just had to get a little plug on our company. But anyway, here's the point. When I was in that realm of selling that particular service, this person would not even call me back. And still to this day, they are not online. Now, think about, because they're not online, how many people are literally coming to their store? How many calls do you think they're taking on a daily basis of people ordering from them, and they literally have to be there to pick up the phone to actually take an order, right? When they don't even have to do that. Or what about all the missed calls from being on the phone with one customer requesting an order and missing another call from another customer who would actually give them or maybe even spend more money with them? There is a better way to do this, people. So the first thing that I recommend that every company out there, if you have not, Lord knows, I don't know why you would not have, you need to get a website. I've shared with you before how you can get a simple website built for a couple $100 or as little as $100 by going to Fiverr, Fiverr.com. Fiverr, just Google Fiverr.com. Independent contractors, they're all over the world, and they can actually walk you through the steps on what you need to do to actually get a website up and running. So let's just say you got your website up, and you're this small mom and pop shop that has yet to come into the 21st century, that's yet to really engage in technology. Or let's just say you do have a website, which I've seen so many terrible websites with no payment gateways. And don't worry, I'm going to explain to you what that means in just a second, right? No payment gateways and no way to literally take orders online. Once you get a website, you need to get what is called bots, okay? Customer service bots. Frequently asked questions. Sometimes when you go to a website and, a pop-up happened, do you have a question for us? There are certain questions that are prevalent to an industry, right? For example, if you were taking orders online to deliver some kind of like service, in-home service, like what do you call that? Like furnace cleaning or carpet cleaning. The question will pop up. Someone might type in, what time do you have available? There are ways through software such as Zendesk to actually take customer service requests and automate frequently asked questions. So we have a website, right? And we have ways on you as a business owner being able to service the customer without actually having to be there, right? And this is a whole lot different from actually picking up the phone and saying, hello, can I help you? Yes, no, yes, and missing another call that you could have probably made more money. So, website, right? I know this sounds silly. Most companies should have a website, and a way to service customers through bots, BOTS, right? Automated, okay? To automatically do that. Now, also, if you are a sales organization, a sales company, you need to really think about the cost of, or if you own like a company where you have super duper expensive office space, you really need to think about cutting that office space, the cost of that office space down going forward, right? Unless you have to be there, like say if you own a hair salon where people have to physically come in and sit down. But if you're in a service industry, right? A service industry where people really don't have to come to your office, but you're keeping an office because deep down, it sounds good to have an office. It's an ego thing to have an office. Then you really need to think about cutting that down. And I'm going to give you some context on how something like this can affect the bottom line. Okay, you all watch Love and Hip Hop, right? Right? Okay, there is Rashida and her husband, Kirk, right? And they have in the Galleria here in Houston, Texas, they have a store called Pressed, right? I remember one episode where Kirk was asking Rashida, why do you want a physical store when we're generating so much money just online? And honestly, she just wanted to do it. And I'm not saying, and I'm not attacking her, but she just wanted to do it. And now that particular store is not a success. It is not a success. They have huge overheads because anyone that knows rents in the Galleria is extremely high and sales are not coming in, especially during this environment now. But guess what? I guarantee you their online stuff is still selling, right? And so I'm saying to you, if Kylie Jenner, okay, who primarily runs her billion-dollar company online, you might want to think about your approach having huge overhead and having offices. And trust me, I've been there. I've had multiple offices where my rent alone was almost $5,000 a month. Now, for you, that might not seem like a lot, but back in 2003, when 2003 all the way up to 2008, when the financial crisis actually hit, that was devastating. Okay, so I'm saying to you, think about how you can reduce the cost of your office space going forward. And here's the perfect solution for you. Get a virtual office where you have a live attendant, someone answering your phones, right? And where you're only paying a couple of $100 a month. And of course, I share with you virtual offices where you can get a professional business address. You can get all these different things for a couple of $100 a month. Of course, I told you about Regis. No, they're I'm not endorsing them. I'm just saying Regis is one. There's Alliance. There's Meridian. There's a bunch of different virtual office places that you can not only get offices for a day or two, say each month, but you can actually have someone actually answering your phones. And hey, you might have to cut your staff. And cutting your staff, and this is a real conversation, cutting your staff might include cutting the person that's answering your phones, right? So, that. Now, the next thing I want to talk to you about is video conferencing software. The other day, I had someone mention to me or ask me a question about Zoom, right? And they were looking at the cost of Zoom. And I told them, I said, well, you do realize that Zoom is actually free depending on what you're trying to do with it. And I dropped in a little image and I showed them how Zoom, where you can literally have up to 100 people in the room, but you're limited to the amount of time, 45 minutes, but that is free. And if you wanted to bump the plan up where you have unlimited time to stay in the room, right? That's only like $15-16, right? That is a whole hell of a lot better right now because honestly, we don't know when this environment is going to change. We don't know when we're actually going to come out of this. There's a whole different way of leveraging technology now that was not available, say, back as much in 2008. Well, it was available, but it was available at an expense that was very, very difficult for small business owners to actually pay. So now that technology, again, is democratized, right? Now you have access to the technology and you just have to leverage it. So if you need to have a one-on-one meeting, they have unlimited time with that on Zoom and it's free, right? But of course, you have WebEx, you have all these other, I think BlueJean is one. We have all these other video conferencing software. But as far as the quality goes, and this is probably why everyone is using Zoom, as far as HD quality, Zoom tends to be the best, okay? And so that's just my opinion. Do the research for yourself. But you need a way to keep engaging with the people that actually work for you, right? But not only that, there's a way for you to actually leverage that technology to take customer complaints. You know what I mean? There's a way for that. All right. There's a way. I'm not going to go into the details now, but I'm just saying video conferencing software on both on the customer side, right, as well as on the employee side. That's something that you definitely need to invest in. Right. Here's the last thing. We're dealing with marketing. So we talked about the website. We talked about having a virtual customer service. We talked about a virtual office. If you have to downsize the size of your office. We talked about video conferencing in order for you and your people to meet without physically being there. This is what they call the mobility of technology and the mobility of business, and the fact that workers now are transient. This shit has been around, okay? This has been around. This has been around. So now we have all of that. You still have that person knocking on your door, right? Let me give the DJ horn. You have that person knocking on your door, right? And promising you, fame and fortune, and growing your business exponentially by either one, marketing your services during this time, right? When you could do it for yourself. And how about this? Once you get it set up, it becomes automated. That's right. That's right. It becomes automated once you do it yourself. So I've recommended this to you before. I'm recommending this to you again. I employ everyone to Google. If you're a business owner, entrepreneur, you're a startup, you're in the midst of all of this craziness, I employ everyone to Google Facebook Blueprint. Now, I get what you're saying. I know there's a shitload of marketers out there right now hating me for this, right? But with Facebook Blueprint, all the stuff that these quote unquote experts and gurus promise you fame and fortune, caviar wishes and, champagne dreams and caviar wishes, all of the ish that they're promising you, you can learn for free, right? And you can learn it in bite-sized, digestible chunks, because most of the lessons on Facebook.com/blueprint explains everything from setting up a business account as well as how to advertise not only on Facebook, on on Instagram, Facebook and Instagram, right? It explains it all. Bite-sized chunks, 15 minutes per lesson, some even less than that, right? Also share with you the automated email system to actually help you with your customer support that you can get for free via HubSpot, right? You also can use MailChimp for your marketing, which will help. And if you want email marketing automation, in other words, you want emails to automatically go out, you can pay as little as, say, $15, $16, $17 a month for active campaign. So, people, there is a way, because the Startup Junkie is all about helping your business run lean. Lean meaning trimming off the fat. That's what it means. Trimming off the fat, right? There's a way for us to do business and not spend a lot of money doing it, right? So think about that. Now, I'm going to go back because I said I would talk about payment gateways, right? If you have a website and you have no way for people to actually order on your website, if you're doing, say, WordPress, if you're doing Wix, or you're doing something of that nature, and I'm talking about as far as websites, it is so easy, right, to get a plugin where you're going to start taking payments from either PayPal or Stripe or any other type of payment gateway system. All right, PayPal, Stripe, etc. So I'm imploring to you, if you don't have a website, definitely get one. Set up some automatic customer service, right? Automated customer service, that is, say, using Zendesk. You don't even have to know all this technology. You can Google this stuff and it'll tell you how to use it. And the cost is extremely low, right? You need some marketing. Do your Facebook advertising yourself. Once you set up the ads, you put them in there and you run them for a certain date, they'll run. You can target zip codes. You can even do a thing called geofencing with other software, which is inexpensive to target people within a certain radius, or where they'll get a notification to their phone that you're open for business, like especially right now for pickup, right? Or for delivery. People, you don't have to spend a lot of money to run your business. Why? Because again, technology is democratized meaning everyone has access to it. It's just a matter of the strategy in which you use it. Now, a lot of people are saying there is a problem with with security online right now. And I agree, right? There is a product, since we're talking about business technologies, right? There's a product called NordVPN, or just look up VPN. VPN stands for Virtual Private Network, right? This is a way, like when you're online, for not everyone to know that, you're online. Like not everyone is on the same network that you're on, right? So think about VPNs, which you can pay as little as $10-15 a month for like maybe 3 people. You know what I mean? There is a way for you to protect yourself in so many situations. Now, back to the question I got from the person yesterday that asked me about Zoom. The only way that you're going to be safe, 100% safe, is if you completely unplug everything and disconnect with the world. And even then, as they've talked about, they can hack you through radio waves. They can hack you through so many different ways, like just from plugging something in your wall. So don't be concerned with that. All right. Just be concerned with delivering value. And besides, most business owners know that technically you're not really responsible for if someone, goes in your bank accounts. Still, the bank will probably put the money back in your account. Credit cards, I think you're only responsible for like the first $50. But again, I'm not a CPA, I'm not an attorney, but definitely double check that for yourself. At least that's my understanding. So I'm saying to you people, let's get with the program. I've laid out a few things that you definitely need to do and buy and act upon going forward to prepare for the future. All right, thank you everyone for checking out today's show. I'm your host, AJ, the Startup Junkie. I appreciate everyone that checked in today. Yolanda, I appreciate you. What'd you say? That's what I need. Too much information at once is overwhelming. We'll check out all the resources. Yeah, I know, Yolanda. I know it's a lot, okay? But the reason why I document this show and why I do what I do is because I want you to be able to go back and, 1, rewatch the video, or 2, check out the podcast, the Startup Junkie Live, this specific episode or any of our episodes on any topics that we covered by simply searching the Startup Junkie Live on Apple iTunes, Spotify, TuneIn, as well as iHeart Media. And so now that you know that, I think it's about time I get out of here. All right, so until tomorrow, everyone, I'm AJ, your host of the Startup Junkie. Be sure to check out the show tomorrow. Don't know what the topic is going to be, but I guarantee it's going to be relevant. See you later.